The other day, a Kenyan lady by the name Rish Kamunge came on live, made a video, sorry. And in that video, she was claiming to be helping Kenyan nurses get jobs in the US in 4 months, something which has never been done. The least you can do is 1 year. But right now, people are even waiting for 3 years. And she got a lot of backlash from content creators, registered nurses, and teachers. And I'm going to play a video whereby you utasikia what she was saying in that video. So listen to this video so that you understand why the Kenyan nurses they don't want anything to do with this Kenyan lady.
You are a registered nurse in Kenya, and you may want to go work in.
Let me just replay.
Nurse in Kenya, and you may want to go work in the US. Commissions are a bit too high, but they are guaranteed. Kenya, there is nothing like connection to the US. Any country that requires you to have an interview, hakuna connection. I've seen a lot. Nurses wa Kenya tunajua mshahara iko chini, hasira iko juu, ndo maana mnatudunga hivyo. Hata homa mnadunga mtu. Mtu akipata pimple sindano. Now mimi nimekama hapa ku rescue my fellow Kenyans from you people, because nini watu mnataka tukae vichungi venye mnatudunga dunga. And I have decided mwende mkadunge watu wengine abroad. Sawa. So this Saturday, it's only tomorrow remaining. If you're a nurse, na ungependa kufanya kazi in Qatar, and they're being paid so well, it is 35.
I hope you have heard what she's saying. It seems since long time ago, she has been having a problem with nurses, registered nurses. And it seems she's also promising something which I think she cannot be able to deliver. Because the process of a registered nurse getting a job in the US is a lengthy process which has different steps, processes, things you need to verify, certifications, recertifications, retraining. And there are like 2 or 3 pathways, whereby one pathway is self-sponsorship, and the other one is maybe what we can call agencies, because they are registered agencies which do sponsorship of nurses to the US. And those are agencies which everybody seems to know. That is, for example, Avant, Passport USA, MediPro International, Grandi Payton, which we usually call OGP, and a few others, Adevia. And most of these agencies are just recognized agencies across the world, not just basically, not any agency which has sprouted and has a small office in Nairobi. So, Rish Kamunge got a lot of backlash from different quarters, mostly from registered nurses who are working in the US. And basically, they were educating her and educating other nurses. Educating other nurses, sorry. Let's see.
There's something called on-job training. Uko kazi lakini not trained. Na niko na hizo offers and they are guaranteed. Reason being, I'm a recruiter.
Rish Kamunge, just shut up. Stop the nonsense. Let me talk to you, Rish Kidogo. First of all, Rish, sidhani unajua there's something called NCLEX. You might need to take a trip to the Google and educate yourself what NCLEX is, or I can make it simple for you. NCLEX is the examination nurses take for them to be able to license to practice abroad in America. And nobody, no one, no matter how many years of experience you have had in your country, you can never practice in America without being licensed in America. Do you know how long it takes to prepare for the NCLEX? At least not 4 months. Anything between 6 months, 7 months up, because there's like a process za kufungua CGFNS, fingerprints, kufanya nini. And then also there's preparing for the exam itself. So it takes about 6 to 7 months. So I don't know what you're talking about, 4 months or taking them without taking NCLEX, because there is nowhere they're going to be accepted to work without the license in America. Secondly, there's nothing like on-job training. I don't know whether you have been to the US. And third, you're not even a nurse and you're giving information here that is misleading. Mimi mwenyewe nilitoka hii Afrika, nilitoka hii TZ ama Kenya, nikaenda America. I had already done NCLEX, nilikuwa licensed, I had 4 years of experience, and I could not practice as a nurse in America. I remember going to a hospital to apply for volunteering, and they couldn't allow me without a work permit, social security, and a license of that particular state. And I keep telling you, Nasi.
So basically, nurses got mad and tried to educate her about the whole process. So I'll just mention the process in a nutshell. So basically, this begins with you creating an account with CGFNS. CGFNS, what it does, it sends you a document, a printout, which you take to your nursing council, and another one which you take to the school where you did your nursing school. And after that, CGFNS will see and authenticate whether you studied your nursing and you've got a license. They'll verify your documents. They'll verify your license. Then after that, the nursing board in the US, maybe if it's the Texas Board of Nursing, Illinois Board of Nursing, will now give you what we call the ATT, the authority test. So you create an account with the Board of Nursing in the US, and after that, the Board of Nursing will give you an authority test after a long process. This is not a 4 months process, can even be more than 1 year, because there's a lot of back and forth. And there are also challenges along the way, whereby maybe your school delays sending the documents, maybe you do not have the money to process this, to do this process, because this is a money and time intensive process. Inachukuanga muda mwingi. So that's not 4 months. That's not 4 months. That's not what Rish is saying. So after you're done with that process, the nursing board will send you an ATT, which again, you also pay some money, I think $200 US. Then with that ATT, you can schedule an exam with Pearson VUE, where again, for Pearson VUE, you pay another set of money. I think it's 200 and something US. Then after that, after that, you schedule an exam with Pearson VUE, and you can either sit the exam either in the Philippines, in India, South Africa, and for those people who are in Kenya, you can sit in for that exam, fortunately, in Nairobi. So by that time, you've not gotten the license. After you pass this exam is when you get the license. I hope tunaelewana. After that is when you get the license. All this time, you are just verifying your documents and you've gotten the license. Now, after that, you can either, if you are self-sponsored, you can choose to go to an agency, maybe among the ones which I've mentioned, and request them to look for a job for you. And there are specific agencies which deal with nurses who have already gotten the license, the NCLEX, the NCLEX passers. And once this agency takes you, now they can look for a job for you, whereby you'll start the process of doing interviews with the hospitals. And it's not guaranteed that they'll take you. It's another process. It's another journey of interviewing. So there is time in between. So now the 4 months we had, now maybe we are in the second or third year, mostly the second year. After that, after you've gotten a job, after the hospital has given you a contract, now you go to the next step, whereby is the immigration process, which again can drag on for more than 1 year, even sometimes 2 years, because right now there's a retrogression whereby nurses are waiting for priority dates. They are waiting for priority dates to be current. Right now, the earliest, according to the visa bulletin, might be May next year, 2025. It keeps on changing, so you need to keep on checking the priority dates and see whether it's current. But what Rish Kamunge is saying, that you're going to get to the US within a very short duration of time, that is not in any way true. So many nurses reacted to her video, and they corrected her a lot because what she was saying is being disputed by very many nurses.
Dreams I would actually intercept any of your videos and respond in any way.
Tunasaidia nurses as long as you are a registered nurse in Kenya and you may want to go work in the US.
Rish Kamunge. I never thought that in my wildest dreams I would actually intercept any of your videos and respond in any way. But now you're touching on a career that bothers me because I'm a nurse by profession.
Yeah.
I left Kenya as an RN who had practiced in Kenya and came in straight to work in the US. I was brought here by an agency, or rather I actually got an agency that brought me over. I have never in my wildest researches found nurses practicing in Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda come to the US as nurses. It's okay for you to lie to the other careers. Because one, I came across 3 different videos by nurses who are actually practicing in the US from Kenya, and they came to the US as nurses, and they were actually bothered by what you posted. They're not amused. Nobody's amused or happy about what you're doing. You can lie to other careers, but don't lie to nurses. You are lying. The process of even doing your NCLEX exam, yeah, it's called an NCLEX exam. It's not just an exam. Your exam hata ujui inaitwaje, inaitwa NCLEX.
Yeah.
It's a licensing board exam. You cannot practice in the US or get a job without attaining that license.
Sure.
If you're telling them you're helping them do an English exam, that would make sense. Otherwise, please tag the agency you're working with on your wall. Let us know what agency you're working with. Let us know what agency brings nurses from these other countries, because Kenya registered nurse is the only nurse in East Africa who is allowed to practice in the US. It's okay for you to
I'm not so sure about other registered cadres, other registered nurses in other countries, whether they can practice in the US. Talking about those maybe Uganda, Tanzania, but for a registered nurse from Kenya, you can easily get a job once you attain what I've just shown you. So Rish Kamunge, maybe you need to issue an apology and to the nurses, because that was an insult, and what you are saying is not true. You need to issue an apology to all registered nurses and say whatever you are posting is wrong, because it is entirely wrong. So make sure that you like this video so that we bring you other videos about what is trending and opportunities across the world. Thank you.